body beast. He did the full half hour of the bulk back workout.
Yeah.
He's going to need to buy a new shirt.
Man, he is bulking up fast. Okay. This is our third week of using this sheet, the third time with this sheet. And then with that week off last week being in Las Vegas at the Coach Summit, I've found the last 2 days we did our workouts, I either just maintained what was there, and actually yesterday I went up on a couple of them. And today I went up on several of them, even ones I hadn't marked to go up on. One of them was on accident because I grabbed the wrong weight. But I ended up making it through it. Had to cut back on the last 3 reps of the second set to a lower weight, but I did go up, so that's kind of fun, kind of neat.
I actually went up on the deadlifts and on the second one, the reverse grip rows, which I didn't think I'd be able to. It's hard to hold 30 pounds, even when you're not moving in each hand for me. So I'm like, oh my gosh, my fingers are going to pull it. But they did, and I got it done.
It got flirty.
One I'm surprised too, though. The first one's a pullover, which I've kind of felt as I've been going through that I could do a little more weight on that one. It gets a little difficult because once I hit up to over 30 pounds, it's all adjustable weight, so I have to stop and add some weights to it each time. But I went from, I guess last week I think I had 25, 30s, and 40s, and I went up to 30s, 40s, and 50s, and still feel like I can bump up another 5 pounds on each one of those. So, I'll just have to take the extra time to adjust the weights next week and see how that one goes. But it's definitely a fun thing, definitely a good thing, and fun having Ammon work out with us. He's a bit high energy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, keep it calm, okay? Thank you, buddy. But he's going to be a beast here, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right. Well, just kind of touching back on that, what we were saying before about the compound effect. It's making those small efforts every day to do those things that make the difference in the long run. It's not an overnight. I did this yesterday, so today I'm going to see the results from it. Because those little day-to-day increases are pretty minute and small, but over the course of 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2-3 years, that's where things really start adding up. So whether you're trying to work on having a better financial situation, whether you're trying to work on having a better health, maybe it's lose weight, maybe it's gain muscle, maybe it's any one of these things, it's the small, consistent daily actions that you take, the small, regular efforts that you put in that build up over the course of time. And it's, like in finances, you may need to have a ledger so you can kind of see, well, here's where we were in January, here's where we are in June, here's where we get to in December. So you can look back over the course of it. Because when you see those day-to-day efforts, but you don't, the day-to-day increases that are so small, you kind of gradually just get used to the new changes, and you don't realize how far you've come. I did make a mistake when we started working out a year ago. It was in June, in fact, I think is when we kicked into it. And I think it was out of embarrassment or whatever the case was.
I used to like to take pictures.
Didn't like pictures, but it wasn't, I wasn't comfortable with what the pictures looked like, which is why I didn't like to take them. I didn't take before pictures. I was just like, whatever, it's not that much. I don't have, whatever excuses I made, but I did not take the pictures and wish I had, because in that about 6 month, well, I don't know, I guess if you count it all up, it was 6 months, but we went through a 60-day round on that, right, on T25. And then there was another
alpha, gamma, and then we did another 4
so it was about a 90-day period, I guess, if you do the full T25, including the gamma phase, which is an additional phase you have to order. And then, so I did the full thing, and then I did a quick round of it where I just did like 2 weeks of each phase, and had a little break, and then did I guess I had a little break in between, and then I did that quick round. but ended up losing 38 pounds. That's a big thing, you know. And for me, I got used to the changes as I was going along, so I didn't feel like I'd come so far. Even adding up the pounds that were lost, to me, it didn't seem like that big of a difference until we took pictures right at the end. And so it was right at the end of the year, right at the beginning of this year. And compared with the progress pictures I began to take, there we go. Keep losing that. And that's where the shock came in to see, well, even not my beginning pictures, because I didn't take beginning pictures, but a month or two into it, I took pictures. And that compared to the end was just,
oh, I know.
Holy cow, who's that fat guy, you know?
I remember him going, I just don't think there's going to be that big of a difference. And I'm sitting there taking the pictures and like, you are not going to believe it when you see these pictures. And luckily with today's technology, it's digital, so you immediately see the pictures and it was, oh my gosh. He couldn't believe the difference. And mine wasn't the same mistake of, I don't want to take pictures. This is just not going to be that much of a difference. I don't need that. I do. I am very results driven. I am very task oriented, and I need those. And so he was laughing at me because I was taking pictures like every single week. He's like, why are you doing it every single week? You don't need to see that, you know. And there's not that much of a change from week to week, but you go back a couple weeks and it's like, wow. And when I started, and I have to find pictures, I had a couple people going, I don't believe you. I was a size 18. I was a size 18 when I started. I could not lose the weight after our 5th child. All I ever had to do was exercise, and I started exercising with her, and I gained 10 pounds. And was just really upset and frustrated and depressed. And so I finally looked at my diet and started going at it. And I was like, I think about 195 when I started, and my 18s were tight. I refused to buy bigger clothes because I was working on it and trying to go back down. And I'm a 6. I have a size 6 now, and I wish I had better pictures from then. I'm sure what was taken got buried somewhere, or I deleted it because I took those pictures and I cried. I was so upset about it. But I wish I had better pictures now just so I could see the difference between the two. I mean, it really, really does make a difference because I had lost, almost 50 pounds from when I started. I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy. But it's those little changes. And I mean, this has been over the course of like 2.5 years because I was not consistent when I started. But it's amazing. It's amazing what can happen when you do put in those efforts every single day and are being consistent about it.
Awesome. So those efforts apply to anything in your life, everything in your life. And I think it's important to evaluate, okay, where am I? Where am I lacking? Where am I wanting to go? And what are some of those small daily actions that I need to take to begin to get there? I mean, we could apply this to anything at all, but I'm just, doing the Body Beast program right now. Some of the small daily efforts I need to make. Working out is only a part of this equation. Eating is a huge part of this equation. Resting properly is a huge part of this equation. I can't be running marathons and expect to bulk up. I mean, it's not, those are things that are not going to work out together. I don't want to be running marathons anyway. I don't like all the counting and the impact. And while I'm at a point, I think it keeps pissing out on this, where I'm at a point where my joints, my knees, my elbows, my wrists are not bothering me like they used to. And that's definitely from eating a whole lot better, and eating cleaner, and then exercising regularly so that my body's kind of pushing that junk out. I still prefer to not put the extra stress and impact on my legs, my knees, and my ankles, everything else. But even so, like I said, I mean, those are two things. Either you want to be a marathon runner or you want to try to bulk out, because you can't really do the both of them together. Overdoing it on the cardio really just eats the muscles away rather than building them up, and that's not where I'm trying to go. So
you have good muscle tone, but you're definitely not going to bulk up.
Yeah. Well, it's been a fun workout. Excited for this day, and excited for these, these points that came out in the compound effect. And I'm just getting started reading it. I've kind of browsed a little bit earlier, but like I said, we did hear Darren Hardy speak last week, and he's the one that wrote the book. And you know, it's really fun to see that, to get inspired and be ready to push forward and move ahead of where we are even. So that's kind of where I'm started off, and I'm going to keep following that and see what I can get out of it and keep growing. Go strong.